Daddy. Yes. Daddy. Yes, sweetie. Aliens? Yeah, I'm almost done. Daddy's got to work a little bit longer.
Daddy. Alien.
You've got to watch Aliens. You can do it on my phone.
Daddy.
Maybe that'll be a good compliment.
Mama.
Here, let's put it on my phone, and then you can sit in my lap. Let's see.
Mama.
You want dinos? You want baby dinos?
Mama.
Baby dinos, do 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 do. Baby dinosaurs, do 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 do. Baby dinosaurs. Baby. Baby dinosaur. Which one do you like? You want to click one?
Daddy.
This one? Here, you want to hold it? There you go. All right. The terrorizing of innocent people is not in alignment with and does not do any good for the... Yes, Piercy? He's all the dinosaurs in chat. Look at all the dinosaurs. There's so many rah-rahs. Look at all the rah-rahs. Does no good for the Free Palestine movement. The idea that it does...
Daddy.
Yes?
Daddy.
Look at all the rah-rahs and aliens. Cute. The idea that it does has fueled a painful decades-long cycle of back and forth retaliations.
Daddy. Alien. Rah-rah.
Look at all this. So many dinosaurs and rah-rahs and kitty cats and frogs and robots. He also loves robots, guys.
Mama. Die.
Baba?
Mama.
Baba Ruby?
Mama.
Should we recline? Let's see. Let's chill like this.
Daddy.
Yeah.
Mama.
Robots? Bobots? Here, let's watch this. Those are like robot kitty cats. The idea that it does has fueled a painful decades-long cycle of back and forth retaliation, which no innocent civilian Palestine or Israeli deserves to be a casualty of, and helps perpetuate the false idea of being pro-Palestine equals anti-Semitic. If you are hurting, as I share my condolences today with my loved ones, both Palestinians and Jewish, I'm sending my love and strength whoever and wherever you are. There are a lot of complex, personal, and valid feelings, but every human deserves basic rights, treatment, scrutiny, no matter their nationality, religion, ethnicity, or where they were born. I know my words will never be enough to heal the deep wounds of so many, but I pray for the safety of innocent lives always. I mean, good. I was expecting something nuclear, but that's just a good take. She has the comments off, which is, I see, very smart, because in my opinion, the comment section would not be happy with this statement. That's my guess. But we don't know, because she turned the comments off, which is smart. Good for her. You know, I applaud her for a well-reasoned take. We love her. Yeah, she's Palestinian, I know. And yeah, I mean, how hard is it just to say that civilians don't deserve to die? You know, it's really pretty easy to just put that out there. Anyway, what does Philly say?
International responses and more. You've got Kevin McCarthy trying to sneak back into his House Speaker position. Meanwhile, you've got people upset at Drake over this Billie Eilish situation. A high school principal shamed and caused a young student to lose her scholarship because she was dancing. And we've got to break down the massive debate over D&D in prisons you've probably never heard about. We're talking about all that and so much more on today's extra large Philip DeFranco show. You daily dive into the news.
Extra large,
so just make sure you
extra
subscribe
in
and let's
charge.
jump into it. Starting with, we need to continue talking about the Israel-Hamas.
Whoa, that was weird. Listen to this.
Daily dive into the news. So just make sure you're subscribed and let's jump into it. Starting with, we need to continue.
What was that? That was a weird audio splice. Starting with.
Into it. Starting with, we need to continue talking. about the Israel-Hamas situation. First off, right as we were wrapping up yesterday's show, some EU members moved to block the union from canceling its $700 million Palestinian aid package. So that is back on the table. But moving on from that, one of the first big things we now have is a lot more information from the various villages and sites that were attacked by Hamas, and the stories are absolutely devastating. I'm not going to get into too much detail because YouTube will nuke this video, but the main point is that it's pretty much indisputable that Hamas went door to door to try and hunt down as many Israelis as possible. Those who weren't shot in their homes and taken out back to be executed being carted off to Gaza as hostages, with their lives being on the line for every Israeli airstrike. And they've made sure to be particularly cruel about it as well, such as an incident that Moore Bader shared, with her talking about how during the attacks her aunt called her and her mother and told them to open up Facebook, saying that her mom couldn't do it and so she did, and then
אני פתחתי מהטלפון שלי וראיתי זוועה. ראיתי את האסון הכי גדול שאפשר בכלל לדמיין. סבתא שלי על הרצפה בבית שלה, רצוחה בסרטון. כל הרצפה דם. סבתא שלי שוכבת שם. המחבל פשוט לקח את הנייד הפרטי שלה, צילם אותה והעלה את זה לקיר פייסבוק הפרטי שלה. ככה התבשרנו.
That's crazy.
ככה גילינו את זה.
also we've heard about other acts of extreme cruelty, such as when I-24 News, which is alleged ties
Yes,
to Netanyahu.
Birdie. Ow! You see all the aliens and dinosaurs in the chat? Yeah.
Ellen.
We love aliens and robots. I see robots and kitty cats and tigers.
Dada.
You see dinosaurs and robots? I see dinosaurs on your phone. Wah.
Reporting that Israeli soldiers told them about finding beheaded babies, and then slowly other outlets like Insider reported getting information about the atrocities.
Wait, hold on. I don't know if you guys caught, I don't know if some of y'all aren't looking, but a terrorist killed this girl's grandma and then took her private phone and then took a video of it and then uploaded it to her Instagram. That's crazy. Also, apparently they were decapitating babies.
Also, we've heard about other acts of extreme cruelty, such as when
Here, Israeli soldiers have found the bodies of dozens of babies with their head cut off. I'm talking to some of the soldiers, and they say what they've witnessed, how they've been walking through these different houses. Babies, their heads cut off. That's what they said. Gunned down families, completely gunned down in their beds. You can see some of these soldiers right now comforting each other. Many of them reserves who jumped into action, leaving their own families behind as well, not knowing the sheer horror that they were about to come to.
24 News, which is alleged ties to Netanyahu, reporting that Israeli soldiers told them about finding beheaded babies. And then slowly other outlets like Insider reported getting information about the atrocities from the IDF. But then only for the Turkish outlet Anadolu to claim that when they spoke to the IDF, they were told, quote, "We have seen the news, but we do not have any details or confirmation about that." Which is also, I want to stress right here, like a lot of details in war. It is very hard to pin down the exact details. And notably, all of this reportedly happening as things are now getting worse and worse in Gaza itself. There have been constant Israeli airstrikes leading to civilian casualties. And because Gaza is nearly 50% children, they're being disproportionately affected. And the people there are just stuck. I mean, we talked about this a bit yesterday, but Gazans aren't allowed to leave. Or during more peaceful times, yeah, they can sometimes get through one of...
What do we got here? You want to watch something else? What do we like here? You say Babu? You like Babu dinosaurs? What about this one with the eggs? Or, what's this? Or this? Any of those look good? Babu? You want Blippi?
No.
You want a Blippi dinosaur video? Here. Blippi dinosaur. Does this look good? Blippi learns about dinosaurs? Oh, we like that one. Okay. Whoops. Sitting is the opposite of standing. Sitting is the opposite of running around. I got one thing to say. Here you go, Blippy boy. All right.
The few border crossings with either Israel or Egypt, but even then, it's very rare, and those crossings are normally used for supplies. So even if there were people in there that wanted to get out and heed Prime Minister Netanyahu's warnings, they couldn't. And his warnings make it seem like Israel is not going to mess around here, with him warning yesterday just as we finished the show.
Hamas will understand that by attacking us, they've made a mistake of historic proportions. We will.
What exactly are people in the chat denying happened? The beheaded baby or the grandma thing? Because the grandma thing definitely happened. The beheading baby thing, I mean, does it matter? Like, they killed babies. They shot them. They killed them. They burned families alive. Does it make it better for you? You know what I mean? I've heard it a lot, though, and I don't know if it's true either. I don't know. I've heard another story about 40 babies. I don't know. But again, it's like, is it that hard to believe? You think that Hamas I saw images of beheaded soldiers. Yeah, like, as long as they don't behead babies, then we're okay. Burning families alive, that's one thing. Killing children and babies, just killing them. Decapitating soldiers, not soldiers, just civilians. Okay, but get to me, Philly. Talk about me.
A price that will be remembered.
Ethan constantly justifies Israel aggression. Why are you here, you moron? You pathetic loser. Why would you even type that, you scumbag? Like, you're a paying member and you're here, and you would say something that fucking dumb, that willfully ignorant, that so fucking obtuse. You've never listened to a goddamn word I've said. Ethan constantly justifies Israel aggressions. Fuck you, scumbag. Just go somewhere else. Literally never done that in my whole fucking life. And the fact that you think me saying that Hamas is terrorists, scumbags, is justifying Israel aggression, then that's kind of all you need to know about yourself. Mods. Like, me just saying, yeah, I don't think Hamas should murder 1,000 civilians in cold blood. That's me justifying Israel aggression. Then basically, that's all I need to know about you, scumbag. Mods.
By them and Israel's other enemies for decades to come.
It also doesn't help that after issuing those warnings, Israeli bombing forced the only open crossing to be closed, making it extra difficult to leave. And then after that incident, the Israeli military again told Gazans to leave. Making matters worse is that the only place they could reasonably go is neighboring Egypt. And they don't seem to want them and isn't exactly making moves to open crossings up. Although there have been calls from across the political spectrum to put pressure on Egypt to open it up. But without that intense pressure, it's unlikely to happen for a few complicated reasons, with the two biggest being, one, the Sinai Peninsula, where refugees would likely be based, is hardly set up for 2 million people to live in.
Yeah,
Two,
it's horrible what's happening there, Philly, but what about me? Well, clearly, let's cut to the chase.
Current Egyptian government is strictly opposed to Hamas due to religious and political differences, and many Gazans still support them. So they don't want to risk having a bunch of Hamas supporters in Egypt. There's also been word from the White House about the situation, with President Biden saying today that some of the hostages were American and that at least 14 have died in the attack, and then going on to say,
the brutality of Hamas, these bloodthirstiness brings to mind the worst rampages of ISIS. This is terrorism.
And also adding that if the U.S. was in Israel's position, our response would be swift, decisive, and overwhelming. It's also important to report with this situation that the conflict has also polarized much of the world, with pro-Palestinian and pro-Israeli rallies happening all over the place. For example, the Australian government has been forced to react to viral videos showing Palestinian supporters in front of the Sydney Opera House shouting things like, right, and all that happening reportedly because the fins of the Opera House were in Israeli colors following Hamas's attack. While in other places, the protesters from either side got into scuffles. And I should also update something we talked about yesterday Monday, right? Mia Khalifa's tweets that many interpreted as
Oh,
her
is this
supporting
why
Hamas's attacks.
he's-
Yesterday, shortly after show went up, she retweeted one of her controversial tweets with some clarification saying, I just want to make it clear that this statement in no way, shape, or form is enticing the spread of violence. I specifically said freedom fighters because that's what the Palestinian citizens are. Fight for freedom.
Yeah. It's so awesome how she's trying to backpedal this. Tell the freedom fighters in Palestine to flip their phones and film horizontal. Who exactly is out there with weapons filming war crimes? It's Hamas, you dumb, freaking monstrous demon of a person. She goes, I just want to make it clear that this statement is in no way, shape, or form inciting spread of violence. Okay, dummy. So sorry that you got dropped from everyone.
Freedom every day. While some supported that tweet, she got a lot of pushback, people saying she was just trying to save face. So she then went on to eventually delete that tweet alongside some other ones that got her into hot water. But seemingly some damage had already been done. Over the weekend, she apparently lost work with the company Red Light Holland, although she didn't seem to care. And at the time, she said she was just upset she worked with Zionists. And actually, possibly connected just before she issued her tweet where she said it was a clarification on Monday, Playboy, where she's a creator on their OnlyFans-like platform, emailed users.
You guys aren't serious. Your take on Mia is so wrong. I don't understand how is it that you're here? Yes, Brucey. What? You see the bunny rabbit? Brucey sees the Playboy bunny rabbit. It looks like a rabbit, huh? Funny boy.
That they had cut ties with her, saying, we are writing today to let you know of our decision to terminate Playboy's relationship with Mia Khalifa, including deleting Mia's Playboy channel on our creator platform. And going on to say, over the past few days, Mia has made disgusting and
Yes, sweetheart? Oh, let me help you. There you go. Is that better? Brucey is the opposite of Teddy. Brucey is the opposite of schmutzing around. I want you to say Brucey is the opposite of schmedding. Blippi is the opposite of dinosaurs. Here.
reprehensible comments celebrating Hamas's attacks on Israel and the murder of innocent men, women, and children. At Playboy, we encourage free expression and constructive political debate, but we have a zero tolerance.
Lucy, look in the chat. What do you see there? You see more bunnies? You see more rabbits? Yeah. Yes, he does.
Policy for hate speech. We expect Mia to understand that her words and actions have consequences. But also with that, you have people wondering, is Elon Musk going to have her back? Because a few months back, he promised to back up anyone's legal fees who got in trouble for tweets. Actually, in the note of tweets around this, and specifically Hamas, it sparked a viral moment from H3 podcast Ethan Klein, with him popping up because he expressed his frustration and anger at people in posts that he felt were celebrating Hamas's attacks. And there, it seemed like some users had issues about two things in particular that he said, with the first being,
a terrorist attack. Oh, Philly. You're such a fuck. 700 people are killed, and your immediate response is, I stand with Palestine. How am I supposed to interpret that other than I stand with Hamas? Israel hasn't done anything. They haven't airstriked Gaza. All that's happening is that they're trying to count dead bodies.
And then the second being,
if you think Hamas is dope, just remember that you, even more than Israelis perhaps, deserve to be burned alive by terrorists. Wait. Hold the fucking phone. There's definitely missing context there. What is this clip? Even more than Hamas is dope. Just remember that dead bodies.
And then the second being,
if you think is that Daddy on the screen? Hamas is dope. Just remember that if you think Hamas is dope, even more than Israelis perhaps deserve to be burned alive. Dude, there's this totally missing he's such a douche. I'm sorry, man. Philly, sometimes he's such a freaking douchebag the way he does this. Like, this is obviously just the dumbest rage bait ever. I was literally having like a long analogy about something that, like, if an Iraqi terrorist came and started killing everybody, because America as a government has done more war crimes, like arguably, right? I mean, that's an argument we could have. Certainly, American government killed like 1 million people in Iraq. So I was like, okay, well, you're an American. You're even more guilty than Israel. But like the way he chopped that up is lame, dude. Terrorist. And your whole family murdered in front of you.
With a number of people then quick to say things like Ethan Klein is a stupid fucking Zionist with cotton balls in his brain.
Why am I a Zionist? There you go. Tell me. How is this not anti-Semitic? He's calling me a Zionist. He doesn't know anything about I'm not a Zionist. He means, when he says Zionist, he means Jew. Like, this comment, how is this not anti-Semitic? Genuinely.
Ethan Klein going on his podcast slobbering all over himself for Israel. LOL, these fake woke leftists are showing their true color.
I mean, my point is valid. Do you live in America? So you're as guilty or even more guilty than Israeli citizens for war crimes. And you should just go to the closest Native American, reserve and beg them to kill you.
Colors. Then you have a lot of people saying there's a lot of context missing that people are responding to.
Oh, really? There's context are missing, Philly.
Entire clip, which is about an hour long. People pointing out that in it, Klein bends over backwards to express that he has a long history of supporting Palestine. Or saying that he just doesn't support actions like Hamas's and doesn't think their attack should be equated with Palestinian liberation. And as for the I stand with Palestine right after the attacks part, he equated it like this.
It's like America and Iraq. We killed a fuckload of people there. Horrific. So imagine a group of terrorists, Iraqi terrorists, made it into LA, went to a neighborhood, and just started killing everybody. Going into houses, dragging them out, burning them alive, kidnapping kids, desecrating people's bodies. Who's going to go, I stand with the people of Iraq? Right after that happens. That's psychotic.
Also then went on to say that he's extremely anti-Netanyahu and has also voted against him every chance he's had, alongside largely not supporting Israel's actions towards Palestine in general. Or with things like the construction of settlements in the West Bank, he called those war crimes and cultural genocide. Or the bombings of Gaza, on that he mentioned.
I'm scared to even imagine the casualties that are going to happen as a result of this in Gaza.
And I'll actually end this on that last bit, because so far the death toll across both sides is over 1,600. And this, as it's...
Sorry, Philly, I went too hard. You did show at least a lot more context in the back. So Philly is not as bad as I thought. Thank you. With peace and love. With peace and love. Yeah, that's my bad. We love you, Philly. Let's go hiking soon. We love you, Philly D. Best guy in news. We love him. Don't we love him, folks? Although I am surprised. Sorry, Philly. We love you. I may have overreacted a little bit. Sorry, Philly. You know, it is weird to me that this is even a story, though. Because, like, what really did I say? How is this a story, you know? But we love Philly. He's a good man. He's a good man. He's a good husband. He's a good father. And we love him. He's a stand-up newsman. And H Street Nation will always have Philly D's back, no matter what.
Expected that there will be more civilian Israeli deaths due to those in critical condition not making it and hostages being killed. But also, we're going to see a huge spike in the number of Gazan deaths as they are struck in what's likely going to be a horrendous war zone with no way out. With the airstrike set to just get worse and worse, and that's without mentioning that there's likely going to be an impending ground war in the region to eradicate Hamas. But again, this horrible and frightening, that is the question at the center of this law. I mentioned hers here.
Okay. I mean, the good news is I got another thumbnail. Because I'm tired of Hassan encroaching on my shit. People are saying Hassan's a Hamas apologist. I personally haven't seen anything like that from him. But, I mean, clearly we'll talk about it on Thursday. I don't think he's a Hamas apologist. That's a crazy accusation, I think. Ethan, why don't you have a Palestinian on to talk about it instead? Sure. Oh, you're watching Singing Monsters. Oh, God, he's got Minecraft videos open. You're too young for Minecraft, Brucey. You're not ready. You're not ready. Hila said the IDF doesn't commit war crimes. Can she defend that? She didn't say that. Stop. She didn't say that. Hila did not say that. You like the Wubbix? The Wobblins? Bring out the Wobblins. 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 How do you peacefully end apartheid? I don't know. Hassan's take, Ethan's take. Oh, okay.
Daddy,
Beep bop, beep bop, beep bop, 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 bop. You like the robots? Bro, I literally am just saying like that killing 1,000 civilians isn't cool, no matter what. So if you have a problem with that, then I think you might be insane. Have you seen the coverage on the war from Democracy Now? They have had really good coverage. I've seen a lot of really good coverage, like showing from both sides the terrible toll it's taking. You know, I see a lot of people, they just see what they want, and then they are convinced that the whole world is one way. And I've seen really good reporting on both sides, in my opinion. But thank you for the suggestion. I'll watch Democracy Now, because I'm, you know, consuming all the coverage that I can from both sides. The stuff you said that settlers should be killed was really cringe. When did I say that, Tommy? Dude, y'all are so... I said settlers should be killed? What I said was that I've seen people saying that the people they killed around Gaza, in the cities around Gaza, they called them settlers. And I was saying they're not even settlers, they're straight up citizens. If you do move to the West Bank in hostile territory with the intention of, you know, stealing Palestinian land for Israel, then like at least like you are assuming, you know, you're assuming some risk when you do that. Okay, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like they're putting themselves in this dangerous situation. Ethan, this is what happens when you gift 20,000 members. That's an interesting point. The truth is, like, I don't think peace will ever be achieved as long as people, if Israelis can't be like, I understand why Palestinians hate Israel, and if there's Palestinians and anyone that can't say, I understand why Israelis are pissed off. You know what I mean? And I'm not even weighing any which one. I'm just saying, like, if you don't have the empathy to see that both sides are angry and why they're both angry, then you're not approaching this in any kind of realistic way that will result in any kind of peace, ever. People say, what was Hamas supposed to do? I don't know, not kill 1,000 civilians. Like how, so you say, what were they supposed to do? Tell me how slaughtering, you want to go down, Brissy? Go ahead. You can take my phone if you want. Tell me how slaughtering 1,000 Israelis is going for their peace efforts. What's the result? The result of this attack is, one, they've lost, Palestine has lost all the international support that they have been enjoying recently. Okay, all the world leaders who are like pro, you know, or like free Palestine and all that. What's up? Are now like with Israel, And also what's going to happen is there's going to be a massive ground invasion in Gaza. Like, and then also what you're doing is you're galvanizing people to go support fucking Netanyahu, who by all accounts needs to be thrown in jail. Right? And also you're going to be and also all the Israelis who have been pro peace, I bet a lot of them are going to be foaming at the mouth for revenge too. So how exactly did killing 1,000 civilians help your political movement? It's not Palestine's fault. I know it's not. And guess what? It's not Israelis' fault either that their government is maniacs. If we were all held responsible for the crimes of our government, heaven would be empty. You know, there wouldn't be everybody would be deserving. You know, what kind of psycho take is that? I don't blame the Palestinians, and I don't blame the Israelis living, in a random village, minding their own business. All they did was they were born there. What are they supposed to do? I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know what we're supposed to do. But you see Mario? Is it a Mario song? Yeah. Wow. I do know that that to achieve any kind of peace, the attitudes are just so far off. It's just not even it's not even a conversation to have, because people are just now more entrenched in their radical views. And there's people who say, I don't know, Israel is 100% wrong. I don't understand why Israelis would be mad and wanting revenge on Hamas, right? They say, no, I refuse to see that perspective. And then you have psycho war vultures and the Israeli government saying, I don't understand why Palestine is angry. I'm sorry. You do realize the power imbalance though, right? Yeah, of course. So why are you telling me that? To justify thousands of civilians dying? Yeah, there's a power imbalance. I'm not a fucking political scientist, and I'm not a expert on Middle Eastern politics. So if you're asking me for a solution, I don't even think the great thinkers of our world can give you an answer to that. You know, there's a lot of hate on both sides. That's the fucking bottom line. Most Palestinian civilians hate Hamas regime. That's what I'm saying. That's what I believe too. I don't think the Palestinians support Hamas. And that's why, I think it's especially cynical when people go, I support Palestine after a terrorist attack. Because I'm pretty sure that all the people in Gaza who are now, they see that and they're like, oh, dude, we're going to get bombed now, are not going to be saying, yay Hamas. It's a direct result of land grabs. And so you're saying that to say that it doesn't matter that 1,000 civilians were killed? Again, I don't understand all the whataboutisms. I'm just making a very simple point. That's it. It's yeah. There's... Oh, what's that cool guy? He's such a cool monster. He's playing the drums. Boom, boom, boom. Cute, funny. Dee. Oh, he's sleeping. Most Palestinian civilians hate Hamas. That's what I think too. analysis isn't justification. But like, I know that Israel has all the power and that, you know,
Babu.
I mean, I've said it 1,000 times. I've said it as much as I possibly can. You know, we're saying that, Ethan, we're not saying we excuse the deaths. We're saying it's inevitable.
Daddy.
I understand saying it's. Oh, you want me to play? I understand saying that's like a consequence of Israelis' policy. I understand that, but saying it's inevitable is pretty fucked up. Okay, because I'm pretty sure there's a way to advocate for peace in Palestine that doesn't include burning families alive and murdering babies. That's it.
Daddy.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody should be punished for the crimes of their government. Like, we don't have most of us don't have any influence over that. Yeah, saying it's inevitable is just a really weird, gross take. Maybe it's just a verbiage thing that you're missing. I understand the point of saying it's a direct result of Israelis' foreign policy. Saying it's inevitable is a pretty weird take, man. All I'm saying, if you're one of these Americans who's foaming at the mouth for the fall of Israel, then you need to take a long, hard look at all the crimes your government has done, and remember to hold yourself accountable for every single one of them. Because people are born there, they didn't ask to be born there, and they have no way to leave. I'm indigenous anthropologist and a former U.S. service member. There's a lot of nuance to any discussion about our culture, but from my perspective, I know what you mean. Indigenous anthropologist. Oh, do you mean like Native American? I'm just sorry if I don't understand. I'm trying to just understand where you're coming from, but thank you for the donation. I think all the support Palestine people are just getting ahead of the narrative. There will be a time for that later. Now we need to support our Jewish brothers and sisters. And I mean, we're already past that time because because Israel's already bombing the shit out of Gaza. You know what I mean? And there are already civilians dying in Gaza and kids dying in Gaza because of what the Israeli government is doing, which is insane. It's not about revenging them. They're being oppressed. It's about freedom. What's about freedom? Hamas killing 1,000 civilians? What is about freedom exactly, if you can tell me? What do you mean by that? It's about freedom. How do you mean? I'd love to know what you mean by that. You think, oh, by the way, Hamas does, see, y'all don't really know what the fuck you're talking about. Hamas doesn't care about freedom. Hamas is a militant, extremist, violent organization. They just want to kill Jewish people. Palestinians, I'm sure, as a whole, are peace-loving people. But saying like Hamas is fighting for, it's just about freedom? I mean, what part of killing 1,000 civilians is about freedom? Civilians. Dakota is my American Indian tribe. Oh, sweet. Nice, man. Thank you. And what a service to your country as well. That's interesting. It's bizarre that other Muslim countries don't take any Palestinian refugees. That's a whole other can of worms. Ethan thinks that Palestinian people can vote their way out of this situation. So again, you're saying that because they can't vote their way out of this situation, that Hamas killing 1,000 civilians is justified. Like, listen to what you're saying. Understand where the logic takes you. I'm not denying any of that. And I mean, bye, Brucey. He's just bailing. He's just, it's like I don't know how much more I can say and how many words and how many ways that I... You're back. Hi, Brucey. You're back? All right, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm not getting stun-locked. I'm genuinely just curious what people are saying. I'm pretty much done, so just kind of curious what the takes are here. Have you and Hassan talked to each other at all? Are you waiting? I mean, we haven't had an in-depth conversation about it, so we'll talk about it on Thursday. But again, some people have a really weird expectation that we're going to have some epic disagreements, which I just don't think is going to happen. Hey, Brucey, don't push those. Brucey got his hands on the stream deck. All right, guys, listen. I want to say thank you for everything you're saying. My cousin's daughter is on the border and a commander. She is 20 years and no one wants this. Thank you. Yeah. It's crazy. All right, listen, guys. Thank you. Sorry about the shit show that happened in the beginning. But we got it working and had a pretty juicy little stream experience, right? Hold on, Brucey. Let's click that. Brucey, no! But, it's all good. We're all just chatting, Listen,